Welcome to Christ Heart Ministries TV broadcast. My name is Isaiah Mbuga.
This is not poetry. This is not good writing. No, it is attraction.
He has given me a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, and my ministry has been more focused.
I can now evidently say it's working in my life. Through the word of God, I've kept growing. I've got to know the grace gospel.
You can go and do it. Amen.
I came to know about Christ Heart through a fellowship at campus. I finished campus in 2013. There was a fellowship called WODEM, Waves of Destiny. There was a fellowship that happened always on Wednesday. That's when I came to know about Heart of Christ, and I followed my friends and
got to know about Christ Heart Church from WODEM, that was in Chambogo, and a few friends were in it, and they invited me one time when Bishop Isaiah Mbuga had come to Banda International Church to preach.
I got to know about Christ Heart while at campus. I was in my dormitory and people were having fellowship just in the quadrangle. So I heard the message and it touched me just from there.
So what exactly touched you?
Basically, when I was hearing the person preaching, I would hear things which were originally in my spirit. I would hear them, but because I had never had someone say them, I either thought they were wrong or they were not even there. But I would hear them speaking things I've ever even heard, ever imagined, or even ever thought. So I felt this is something that I should listen to, because I didn't know something like this existed.
Christ Heart has really been there for me, but what touched me most about Christ Heart was the way the men of God took us in and they became our fathers. Me, truthfully, I was in church all my life, but I think I wasn't fathered. I never got an opportunity of a pastor being there for me, being a friend, and telling me all these things I'm supposed to be.
Before, I was in other churches. I could not join ministry because I didn't feel I was at home. But when I entered Christ Heart, I felt like this is where I had to be. I learned to speak in tongues here. Yeah, before I never believed in tongues, but when I came here, it was something I learned. I enjoyed it.
Previously, I lived a life without purpose. I was just a normal person, normal Christian. Go to church by routine, and your life is, you can't tell a difference between your life and someone who's not born again. My life has had a purpose. Right now I can know where I'm going in the next 50 years, in the next 40 years. I can project and I say, I will be like this. I have hope right now.
For the first time, I met people that believed in me. I met people that loved genuinely, that never loved me because of what I did, but wanted to see the better me out of whatever I was going through.
what touched me most was the message, first of all. Heart of Christ is a ministry whereby it believes in people, it loves people, and the message is so edifying. The message does not condemn someone. It edifies you, it makes you grow in your most holy faith. It also makes you confident of who you are.
Well, I've walked out of so many things I used to do behind the curtains that no one knew, even when I was a leader in the ministry, wherever I was. My esteem has grown, and I think I've learned to love genuinely. I'm not the bitter person that I was, and I have learned to love genuinely. I have walked out with so many things that I would never have mentioned if I had not met Heart of Christ.
First of all, I really wanted to get a home, because all of my life I really wanted to get a church whereby I can get fathers who can father me, and I can really call home. Yes, and I lived a life that I could not tell to people. I lived a life whereby when I'm alone, I would regret why I live. But thank God, when I found out this ministry, my life has changed, has transformed.
Somebody else is to get to the right word, to get to the right message, and to get to people that believe in them, because most people out there, they really want to stop, but every time they go to church, they're telling them, don't do this, not that it's bad to tell them, but they need someone to believe in them and show them of the things they're supposed to do in future, not their past, like to tell them to behold the new things have come. So me, really, that is what really changed my life, like to believe in what my fathers told me at church, to look at the new things.
Actually, I was at home, and my mom was always complaining of having a weak heart. She would become tired almost every day. I remember there's a time she was walking on the road by herself, and she felt so weak, and she collapsed, she fell down. And then she told me I must be having a problem with my heart, because I don't have any strength to do anything. When I do something small, I become tired very fast. So what I did, I laid my hands on her. I laid my hands on her, and I rebuked whatever sickness. I didn't know what it was, but I just said, whatever sickness it is, in the name of Jesus, it should go. So after that, the following day, she was in the toilet. I asked him, why are you in the toilet every time? She told me she had a running stomach, and she was feeling like something was being ripped off her heart. I was like, something is happening right now. God has healed you. So she has never complained of being, now she does things vigorously as if nothing has happened.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
We usually go for hospital ministry, and we pray for people, and we see things happen, like people get off their beds. And
I prayed for a sister that used to have very terrible cramps. For her, every month she would always be vomiting, and I just found her one time lying on the bed, and I told her, you know what, we are going to pray. I'm tired of you being in this situation.
What happened?
What happened is she's now a free woman. She no longer has to take tablets or coil in bed, the whole day. Life has changed for her.
It's me, I have learned in my life that the faith I have is not mine, but is for Christ. And I can't think anything of myself, because it is God who worketh in me. So I can't begin to say I have failed, because it would mean that Christ has failed. When I'm praying for someone who is sick, I don't focus on myself. I just look at God and I say, God, there's something to do here. And God is always, okay, I am here to do it. So I don't do things myself, but I let Christ to be the overall over my life.
encourage them to believe in themselves. Many people fear to pray for people because they think it's for special people, but one thing I've learned here is that it's for everyone. Everyone can do what others can, like not the pastors alone. It is for everyone. So believe in themselves.
All I always tell them is with God everything is possible, because it is what I have learned in this ministry. I've learned that if I just believe, anything can change, because I'm a personal testimony of having believed that something could change about my life.
In the future, I'm believing God for greatness. Given the fact that my fathers believe in me, I'm very sure they will be happy if I went into ministry and began to impact people's lives.
I'll lead many people to this faith, like by preaching the gospel and encouraging many people to join the Lord. And yes, I know that God will use me to touch nations, not only Uganda, but everywhere.
You can go and do it. Amen. Today we want to share something on integrity. Integrity. When you hear the word integrity, what comes to your mind first? Volunteers, what comes to your mind first? Yeah? Accountability, yes? Faithfulness, Speak up. Eh? Discipline, Keeping your words, Wholeness, Honesty, self-control, truth, relationships, Musana. Eh? Reliability. All of you are correct, but I thought one of you was going to come up with someone's name. Matembe. When you talk of integrity, me the moment I hear the word integrity, I think about Miria, because she is always defending integrity. She's a brand of integrity. So, integrity, like you have all said, has a lot to do with discipline. Unfortunately, some of you have been in salvation 20 years, 15 years, 12 years, 5 years, 2 years, even months, but you've never come to a place where you have to check yourself and your integrity. Am I telling the truth? There are many people here today who have never had an opportunity to learn about integrity in a setting of discipleship. Many who know about it in terms of social sciences, anti-corruption meetings and stuff. But as a Christian, you have a quality of integrity. It can be defined as a quality of being honest. Honesty. Having strong moral principles and uprightness. 3 things. Honesty, strong moral principles, or being principled, and being upright. I always begin this integrity class with a story. There is a man a reverend who moved into a remote part of London to become a reverend. Now, there is a bus driver who was also a church member. So this time around, the journey was supposed to be, I think, £3. The man gave in £5. Then the reverend gave in £5, and the guy was supposed to return to him how many? He returned 3. So the guy struggled. The Spirit told him, that £1 is not yours. And the man was sitting there in the chair saying, but God, this bus company gets a lot of money. What difference will this £1 make? The Spirit insisted, give back the £1. So the guy struggled. And finally, as he was about to get out of the bus, he says, the Spirit asked him, won't you give back that £1? And he was overpowered by the Spirit, and he went to the counter and told the guy, I think you gave me too much change. And the man told him, well, I did it intentionally. I was told you're the new priest. I wanted to check to see if our money was safe. And the guy walked out of the car and he almost hit a bus stop pole. He held the bus stop pole and said, Jesus, I almost sold you for £1. You always say, I am a city built on a hill. That cannot be hidden. So you sit in this taxi every day and you preach in this taxi every day, and then the man, you give the man 5,000 and he returns to you 8,000 or 7,000, and you say, but the guy who is kubaring you is not the one that you've landed on this time. So you take the money, and later the guy tries to recall and saying, I think it's Mlokole who took my. The next time you want to preach, what is he going to say to you? Or when they find another preacher, he will say, Mwenamwe. That's why we are suffering today. We are suffering today not because we are bad people, but because people who have gone ahead of us have not lived with integrity. And if we continue with this trend, our children are going to face a more difficult world. So integrity is key. Being honest. I have been privileged to sit on interview panels for people. But I am telling you, this is what I hear from most employers. They don't want to hire born agains. Because at noon, they want to leave for lunch hour, and they will stay even when the lunch hour ends at 1:45. They want to stay talking to people, and then at 2 they begin walking, then they go to a restaurant, and at 3 they arrive at work, and then at 5 they want to leave because there is a class or there is Fanero, they have to arrive early, they're in Masasha. That is not being honest with the time. If you're employed for 8 hours, please sit there for how long? And sitting for 8 hours does not mean passive sitting. Do the work, except if there be no work. But there are people who go to office and the first thing they turn on is internet. Why are you leaving this job? They don't give us internet. What contribution is internet to your work? Zero. And many Christians do that. Some even cheat God. They come to church and they switch on internet. And you see, they even put the thing in the Bible, the phone in the Bible. So they are pressing from the Bible, answering from there. Hey, as a person of integrity, it is very important when you come to church, switch off the phone. I don't really like those things of people moving out of service to go and answer phone calls that are not directing people to church. You see, I've been to services in some churches where you get on the pulpit and at least within every 30 minutes somebody stands up to go and talk on the phone, and the phone call has no business. It is just Rugambo. The other time as I was parking at church, I think it was a Saturday, as I was parking at church, I found another girl with her bag coming out of church. And I asked her, where are you going? And she said to me, well, my friend has told me she's coming to visit me. Then I asked her, what kind of friend is that? He said, oh, she's my friend. I told her, well, go back to church. At first she looked at me with disbelief. I told her, call her and tell her, I have said you go back to church. Then after she came to see me, Papa, I'm very sorry. You know, I hadn't thought about it. But she had already picked her bag. She traveled all the way from Kampala, came to Mukono. Service was just beginning, and somebody makes a phone call. They are not even giving them business. Someone has not come to even plait her hair for free. You know, there is... You could say, Papa, I don't have the 50,000 to plait, or the 30, or the 10 to plait my hair, but someone is offering me a free what? I need to go. But people just walk out of church just like that. Hi. If you don't respect your God, nobody will respect you for your beliefs. One time I went to Dubai. It was this month of fasting. The guy left the shop open and he began to pray. He even faced the other side. And in my head I started thinking, what if I pick something now and I run? Now you see that? But the guy has left his stuff and he has to pray. And when he prays, he must concentrate. You come and say, hey, they are worshiping in a wrong way. But they are sincerely wrong. They are wrong, but they are sincerely. Now you are right, but you're also sincerely wrong. Why? Because you don't treat God the way he deserves to be treated.
You can go and do it. Amen.
You're very welcome today for the Encounter Show. And right from Christ's Heart, we're very much honored to have one of our pastors, and your host is Lois. I would love for our pastor to just tell us his names and a little bit about himself.
Thank you, host. My name is Awachiro Francis, under this ministry, Christ's Heart.
It's amazing to have you. Pastor, I have a little question for you. Before Christ's Heart, could you tell us a little bit about your life before Christ's Heart?
Thank you, Sister Lois. Before I encounter Christ's Heart Church, I was a pastor. My life was so funny. And I would live as a normal people. I would say that as people who are not born again. But when I came to this knowledge of the grace, my life completely changed. And the way I experience God and the way I encounter God, I mean fellowshipping with God, has changed. And the reading of the word, I will understand it differently, because the other side, it would be more of condemnation, self-seeking. But here is not on a self-seeking. Okay. It is completely on God. And you're not compelled by a man to do or to read the word. But it is that inspiration, that's the grace of God, which enables you to understand the word of God and to pray in it, and also to communicate with men. I will tell you, I used not to communicate to people as I do now in this ministry. Number one, men of God, our dad bishop, he loves teaching men to adapt the nature of God. Number one, they identify the seed of God in you, and they would love to grow it. And it is their joy that it is growing on daily basis. So
Wow.
that is what I could say.
It's very amazing to just hear your journey before, your journey now. And would you have something to tell the viewers? And as you tell the viewers, you've said one of the things that really impacted you was the ability for you to be able to relate with other people. Is there something that you can tell the viewers that could really give them a distinction about your time with Christ's Heart?
I would love to express my gratitude with the work in this ministry that I've encountered. And this is to the viewers outside there, that I want to encourage you to come and test this. It is lively, it is godly, it is freely, no impression. Nobody pushed you on you, pressure to accept these things. It is true. You encounter God and walk with Him. So one of the things which has inspired me so much is that the more, I will tell you, the more I spoke in tongues or speaking in tongues, the more my knowledge and understanding rises. That is the difference I've acknowledged from this very attitude of praise.
Thank you so much, Pastor Francis. It's been an honor to have you on the Encounter Show. And our viewers, it was an honor to have him. And keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Isaiah Mbuga. This is not poetry. This is not good writing. No, it is attraction.
He has given me a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, and my ministry has been more focused.
I can now evidently say it's working in my life. Through the word of God, I've kept growing. I've got to know the grace gospel.
You can go and do it. Amen.